Hi, I'm Ryan. Today we're going to use Google Docs to create a simple list. So what we're going to do is we're going to take it slowly, step by step. So let's get started. Let's start with listing a few things. What would we use a list for? Well, how about a grocery list? Let's name our document our grocery list. Press enter. Alright, so now what are some things that we would go to the grocery store to buy? Well, we need apples. We want to go down to the next line. We press enter. What else do we need? We need cereal. What else do we need? Oh, gotta have milk. You get the idea. Alright, so we've listed a few things here. Now that could suffice if we just want to make a simple list that we want to pull up on our phone, but let's make it a little bit more fancy. What if we start by separating this into categories? Let's say that when we first go into the grocery store, the first area that we're going to come upon is the produce section. So what if we click here with the left mouse button? We can press enter, let's say twice. Okay, now let's create a new section called produce. And then we can list the produce that will go underneath that. But we want this to stand out more, so what could we do? Well, we could highlight produce, and then we could bold it by going up here, clicking bold. But maybe we want it to stand out a bit more. So with it still highlighted, we could increase the font size by going here. Let's make it 15. So that it really stands out. Okay, so let's put all of the produce under here. But we need to take all of these and push them down a little bit so that they're separated. So we can click after apples, press enter a few times, and all the produce is there. Now as we think about it, there's a few more things that we need in the produce aisle. We need oranges, and we need, let's say, one cantaloupe. Is that how you spell cantaloupe? I think so. Alright, so that's our produce section. That's what we need when we first go in. What else do we have? Cereal, milk, bread, and Snickers. How about we make another section for candy? Alright. Now, we want to take this same size, bold, everything. We want to take this and we want to copy this format and make this look just like that, so it's a new section. How do we do that? Well, if we highlight produce and then go up here to the format, the paint format button, left click that, then go down here, click after candy, hold down the left mouse button, and then highlight that word, and now it has the same size and it's bolded. Very good. So now we need to put Snickers underneath the candy section. That way we've got everything in its own category. Now we could just click underneath here and type it again, or we could just copy it. So let's do that. Let's left click right after Snickers, highlight it. We can then right click and then left click copy, and then go right below candy, right click, and then click paste. Press enter a few times, and there we go. We now have Snickers under the candy section. Let's do a few more. Cold section. Let's put milk here. Okay. And we'll leave these for later. We can make these stand out a bit more in a few ways. For one, we could create a numbered list here, or a bulleted list. Let's see what that would look like. So if we highlight all of these things under produce, and then if we go up here to where it says bulleted list, if we left click that, Now each one of these different options will be bulleted, which can help them to stand out a bit more so it doesn't fade in with all of the other options or the other categories. But let's say we don't like that. What else can we do? If we go back up here to the undo button, left click that, see what other options we've got. We've got the numbered list, could do that. And now they're numbered 1, 2, 3. But I don't know, I don't really like that one either. So let's hit undo again. I tell you what would be nice is to have a checklist. That way, when we're in the grocery store and we're looking at these different things, and then when we get one, we can just check it off and then it's done. Now that would be nice. Well, Google Docs makes it easy to do that. If you go up here to where it says checklist, if you left click it, now what's really neat is that whenever you go into the produce section and you get apples, you can bring it up on your phone or your tablet or whatever you use, and then you can just click this box and it shows you that you've got apples. You did it. You get oranges, you click that, you got your cantaloupe, you got it. That way it can help you to see what you've got, what you don't have, and it shows you that visually. Now with a numbered list or a bulleted list, you wouldn't be able to tell that as easily. So a checklist like this, very, very helpful. So let's stick with that. Let's uncheck these. Let's do the same thing here. Let's highlight Snickers. Let's go back to checklist. Do that. Go here. Do that. Okay, so now everything's a checklist. Now, before we move on, let's see what other options that we have for checklists. Let's see. If we go where it says checklist, and then to the right it says checklist menu. In that menu, we have the option of whether to strike out the option when we check it off or not. So originally, we had the option set to where when we check that box, it strikes out the word apples. Or, if we go back, we can set it to this option to where when we check the box, it does not strike it out. So it's up to you and what you want your checklist to look like. But I really like it when it's checked off and striked through. I like that. So let's go ahead and keep it that way. Okay. So we've got our grocery list separated into categories. We've got different things listed under each category. We've got it set up as a checklist now. Awesome. But you know, it looks a little boring. Maybe we want to just spruce up our checklist a little bit so that it's visually more understandable, you know? What can help with that is adding emojis or images. So for instance, what if after apples, what if we wanted to put a little picture of an apple right here? If you go up to insert, that's right, left click insert, and let's go down to symbols. And then hover over to emoji. There you go. Alright, so now let's look for apple. And hey, there we go. There's an apple. Alright. Let's do the same thing with oranges. Go back to insert, and then symbols, and then emoji. Let's see, orange. And there he is. Cantaloupe. I wonder if they have a cantaloupe. Think they have a cantaloupe? Oh, they do. Okay, got a cantaloupe. Alright, so now let's go down to Snickers. Go to insert, emoji. Just search for candy. There we go. Candy bar. Alright, one more. After milk, insert, symbol, emoji, milk. Let's have some fun. Let's just put a cow. There we go. All right. Let's go ahead and delete these for now, just to keep things less cluttered. So now we have a checklist that has emojis there too, and it kind of helps us to have a visual representation of what we're looking for. But we're not done yet. Let's say that we want to pull this up on our phone and the white background is just a little bit too much. Maybe we just want to make it a little bit softer so that we're in the grocery store and we don't have to stare at this white screen the whole time. Well, something simple like that is easy to do. If we go up to File and then go down to, I always forget this one, Page Setup. There we go. But right here is what we want. Page Color. So it's currently set to white. But what if we set it to something softer, like a nice, about a nice yellow. Click OK. Yeah, that's a little better. What else can we do? Let's say that we're trying to get a grocery list together to send to, say, our spouse or our roommate so that they can go to the store and they can get it. So first of all, how do we print this? Well, we can do that by going up to the ribbon and then left-clicking the print button and then going from there. Or what if we want to share the grocery list, say with a spouse or a roommate who's going to the grocery store for us? We could do that by going up here to the share button, left-clicking that, and then following the same steps that are found in our Google Docs walkthrough video. But at this point, we have a simple grocery list that we can take with us, we can access from our mobile device, and then we can just check things off as we get them. And just like that, you've created a simple list using Google Docs. So it wasn't too bad. In future videos, we're going to walk through different things that you can use Google Docs for, but for today, you did a good job. So thank you for joining me today. Hope to see you again very, very soon. My name is Ryan, and I'm your tech guide. See you on the trail.